to keep informed with the latest happening near you.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
More than a year into this pandemic, and people are eager to get out and enjoy some springtime. And now, community events are picking back up all across the river region.
And it was once an abandoned building. Now it is a space for local neighborhoods to get together and grow their very own food.
But first this evening, high-stakes testing in schools raising concerns during the pandemic. Despite pushback from the state, parents and teachers, all public school students, had to take the Georgia milestone test.
In Richmond and Columbia counties, those tests start next week. Our Cindy Heimberger live in the studio with what compromises the state's allowed to make here.
Right, Laura, we know scores this year won't count for anything more than 0.01% of a student's grade. The scores also won't be used to assess the district on college and career readiness. So Richmond County school leaders tell me the sole purpose here is to gauge how much students grasped in school this year and use that to guide instruction going forward.
It's a tough subject to grade. How to gauge student learning while being fair to the changes kids had to face during the pandemic. The state's answer, lower the stakes.
It was designed for the students so there will not be any major repercussions for not taking the test.
This year's Georgia milestone test will hardly count against a student's grade, and failing the test won't prevent them from advancing to the next grade level. So the point, according to Richmond County Assessments Coordinator Lorena Thomas, is just to help the district know where students are.
If we're able to get our students in to assess, we can at least know where we're going next year.
But many Georgia parents, like Kimberly Pattison, struggle to see the value in putting their kids through the unnecessary stress of standardized testing this year.
And as soon as kids hear EOC testing, which is end of course testing or milestone, not all students, obviously, but some students, they start getting stressed out.
But that's exactly what school leaders say they hope to avoid with these changes.
And if they feel that anxiousness coming on, we're just going to ask them to take deep breaths, think positive, know that they're going to do well regardless of what the outcome may look like. They're going to do well.
And Richmond County School District says they'll personally compile test data to evaluate student performance, but because the stakes here are so low, it's really up to the parents this year whether students take those tests. If they do, they advise students get a good night's sleep the night before, eat a good breakfast beforehand, just like any other test.
Pretty interesting decision there. Curious to see where the scores fall. Sure. We're even able to get an accurate read. But just like the Peach State, the federal government also denied South Carolina's request to waive end-of-year testing. Superintendent Molly Spearman said she was disappointed about that.
Right. The state testing window opened yesterday, and schools have to finish testing in the last 30 days of the school year. There are no penalties for students in South Carolina who did not take the test. And if parents don't want their children to go to school to take the test in person, the state does not require them to.
So about as low stakes as you can go in terms of standardized testing. One person is injured after a shooting in Augusta today. It happened at the Dogwood Terrace Apartments right around noon. Deputies say someone shot the victim while he or she were walking along Bolt Drive. That person was taken to the hospital. Now, this was the scene there right between 2nd and 3rd Avenues. Our crews say they did see officers go into one of the units of that apartment complex. The yellow crime scene tape was down by around 12:15, and officers put a man in the back of their car. Yesterday, we broke down how many people have been vaccinated in our local Georgia counties. Well, today we're taking a look at South Carolina. In Aiken County, about a third of those eligible have gotten one dose of the vaccine at just over 33%. In Edgefield, similar situation, about 34% with at least one dose.
A few hospitals in South Carolina are starting to see a bit of an uptick in COVID patients, and one Midlands hospital is starting to worry about some early signs of possibly another surge. Lexington Medical Center says last month they had 20 patients hospitalized with the virus. Right now they have almost double, 39. Only one of them was fully vaccinated. The doctor says most of them thought they were young enough not to have to worry about getting the vaccine.
They just seem to get sicker quicker. Previously it would take a couple days. It seems that when we are seeing them, they are sick immediately. A lot of them are being admitted to the ICU straight from the start, and it's almost like we're playing catch up.
The South Carolina Hospital Association says what's happening in Lexington Medical is not a statewide problem yet, but it certainly is not unique. So we followed up with our local hospitals to ask how many of their hospitalized patients have already been vaccinated. AU Health tells us none of their patients who are hospitalized for COVID have gotten the vaccine. University Hospital says out of nearly 2,400 COVID patients, they've only seen 4 breakthrough cases. We asked Aiken Regional and Doctors Hospital, still waiting to give you those numbers.
Bouncing back to normal really seems to be everyone's goal right now. It's a goal that's starting to feel more manageable and on the horizon as vaccines become widely available.
And already some community events are picking back up all over the river region. And our Brady Trapnell is live for us at the Columbia County Amphitheater, where they're hosting Boots, Brews, and Barbecue. And Brady, what do events like this say about where we're headed, do you think?
Well, guys, leaders here in Columbia County are excited about things to come. As you see here behind me, this is a little bit of a sense of what normalcy could be like as we start to progress over the next several months. But you've got food trucks lining this amphitheater here. You have tons of people out here, loud music about to start up here soon, and it starts to feel like, and it's beginning to feel like, what it was maybe over a year ago. In Columbia County,
I think everybody's ready.
many are experiencing the joy of being together again.
People have been stuck in this house, limited on how many people they can see or who they can be around, and now you're able to get out with your friends.
With lower case numbers and vaccinations rising, Janet Wheatley and her team are bringing events back to the community. Boots, Brews, and Barbecue is just one of many. The first Saturday market in over a year is also back tomorrow in Evans Town Center Park.
The farmers, the producers, the crafters, the vendors able to come out. I think we have over 40 vendors for tomorrow's event.
It's music to Renee Hajak's ears.
That was a part of our business plan in the beginning, you know, to kind of piggyback off of that, to give people a place to come when they want to go to the park.
There's been some piggybacking, but at a distance. Her business, Stay Social Tap and Table, needs events back.
We've been open 8 months now, which means we don't qualify for any financial assistance.
Concerts are in full swing at the Sharon Jones Amphitheater, too, with North Augusta's Riverside Village starting to see some life again, as the Jesse Norman Amphitheater still tries to get back on its feet. Meanwhile, business is getting ready to boom in Evans.
In addition to helping the economy, it just helps people's spirit.
And at the end of May, Columbia County will host their first concert over at the Evans Town Center Park. It'll be their first Saturday concert in over a year. So another big event coming this way. And also tonight, all these people, officials and organizers here think that it's going to amount to about 2,000 people by the end of the night.
Oh, wow. People definitely ready to get back to some sense of normalcy out there, Brady. Thank you. We want to take a look at some other events you can check out this weekend if you're itching to get out of the house. Tomorrow you can go on the Laney Walker Heritage Walking Tour. That's a guided tour of the historic Laney Walker neighborhood. It's from 1 to 2. Starts right on the corner of Laney Walker and Phillips Street.
You can also join the Orangeburg Sheriff's Office for a community cleanup there. That'll be at 10 in the morning. They're going to focus on the area right around Gulf Avenue. That'll start at Jameson Pharmacy in Orangeburg. High-speed internet on its way to some rural Georgia counties. Governor Kemp announcing this morning a $52 million project to build more than 3,000 miles of fiber optic network. That's going to bring high-speed internet access to 10 counties, including Washington, Emmanuel, and Glasscock counties. The governor says the funding is thanks to Washington EMC, an electric company in Sandersville.
And this is just the latest success story in Georgia that has come about because community leaders work together, along with the private sector, to solve a problem that directly affects the people in rural Georgia.
The project is helping out more than 12,000 homes and businesses.
Augusta and Mayor Hardy Davis getting a shout out in the U.S. Senate. Senator John Ossoff praising Augusta's progress in producing self-driving cars, saying the city is serving as a model for the entire country. The conversation happened in a committee meeting yesterday. Senators were working on a big infrastructure bill that could bring funding for public transit and transportation projects. If you live in North Augusta, Election Day coming up, to check it out.
Local students now approaching the end of a full school year during a pandemic, and of course that's posing some difficulties. But today, local high schoolers and college students alike are getting the chance to show off what they've been working on for so long. 6 Aiken County high schoolers presenting their research at USC Aiken's annual Scholar Showcase. Organizers say this is an important occasion.
a relief for most of us, I think. And, this is a big day for the campus. And it's really a celebration. So, yeah, it's kind of a culmination of the year.
Students from all sorts of disciplines presenting their research today, and faculty, family, and students from across campus all went out to check out their hard work. Well, have a look at this. This is a lot in the Old Town neighborhood that used to be an abandoned building, but since 2013, it's been sort of a community garden. Over the last few years, especially last year, it's needed a lot of attention.
So now volunteers are cleaning it up and planting flower beds out there. They've been working on this since November, and last weekend they planted their first batch of veggies.
Yeah, we'd love to be able to share what we grow here. Some of the beds, the growers will be just growing for themselves, but we had so many plants donated by Kettle Creek Acres and a lady who lives in Old Town that we actually filled up 3 beds with things that are going to be completely donated.
How about that for work? She says it's for the whole neighborhood, and to get involved, just show up. They work Sunday mornings right around 11 o'clock. Well, it has been a unique year for us all. When we get back, how one elementary school hopes to revisit those memories 15 years from now.
And we are expecting a chance for rain. Open up your camera on your phone and zoom in on the code on the screen. It'll automatically give you all the Mike Costello Law Firm contact information, which you can send to yourself in an email or save directly to your phone. Now you have our number. So if you've been injured in an accident, call us now.
Do you suffer from ED? The difference.
Well, here's a thinker. What would you tell yourself 15 years from now? Students at Wrdw Elementary over in Graniteville are asking themselves exactly that.
Students, faculty, and staff all writing letters and choosing different mementos to put inside a time capsule, and they buried it today, set to be unearthed 15 years from now. Our photojournalist Erin Talent takes us there.
Good morning, boys and girls. Can I have your attention, please? At this time, we are going to begin moving to the front loop for our time capsule burial program.
In 15 years, that other people that are in this world that can see how our memories went when we were little kids.
Hear ye. Let it be known that on this 16th day of April in the year 2021, the student, staff, and parent-teacher organization of Wrdw Elementary School, located in Graniteville, South Carolina, have willfully and excitedly placed into the ground 2 time capsules containing letters, photographs, and heartfelt items of their choosing.
Later in the future, you'll get to read that and see how much the world has changed.
When the year 2036 arrives and it'll be the time to, uncap the time capsules, these students will either be in high school or college, in the military, in the workforce, but hopefully they'll still be a part of our community and come back together and celebrate, our community and kind of just see how things have changed over time.
Oh, such a neat idea, but right now, does it still feel like 15 years will be too soon to revisit?
36, right? And nobody would be more interested than those kids to go back and see what they put in those time
Absolutely. It's such a neat thing, but it's funny, the older you get, it's like, 15 years, that'll be a couple minutes. Check that out.
They'll get to tell their kids and grandkids about the pandemic.
Yeah, could you imagine through the eyes of a child? That's a really neat idea.
We stayed home a lot and watched TV and skipped school. What? You didn't like it? No, we didn't like it.
We were begging to go back to school, kids. Back in my day.
What? All right, let's check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. And Riley, we're heading into a weekend, and it feels pretty good.
Some more mornings down to the 40s look likely later next week.
Thanks, Riley. 3 Burke County seniors on the big stage again tomorrow, singing in a region literary meet.
Our Brianna Collier talked to them and their course director about what it means to be able to represent their school one more time.
For these 3 Burke County High School seniors, singing has always come naturally, whether it be singing in their church, music running in their family, or their voices being heard throughout the halls. But now they're getting ready to be on a different stage. One they're pretty familiar with. Competing in a fine arts competition between other schools in the CSRA, also known as the region's literary meet, going up against the best of the best. And this isn't their first time competing, but it will be the third time they've competed in the meet. Trying to defend the title they've won year after year.
It feels nice to compete against people and have fun and have a good time.
It feels good, and it's like, and the recognition is always good. It's not always about that, because it is something that we love to do.
Right, it's like another family once we go to literary, because we pretty much know everybody else there.
And it's even more special for their chorus director, who's watched them grow over the years and continues to remain by their side, singing right along with them.
Watching them at the middle school, I was kind of like, like a kid in the candy store. They were talented then, and to work with them through this, it's just been a blessing.
Some talented kids, and the video of them singing on their school's Facebook page has been viewed more than 10,000 times. And get this, the competition is tomorrow, the same night as their prom, so that takes some dedication.
Yeah, a lot of local talent represented there. Good luck to them. After graduation, 2 are headed to Georgia Southern, go Eagles, and 1's heading over to Kennesaw State University. So good luck to everyone competing tomorrow. Really fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice and calm. Sports is coming up next. Plenty of local guys in this week's RBC Hair.